We finally got so many questions answered, especially around what happened to Macy, why her mom let her go, and why she has this darkness inside of her. Hey guys, it's Kristen, and today we're going to be talking about episode 12 of the Charmed reboot. It's been a while, right? So let's just get right into it. This episode was pretty huge. I mean, we got to address some of the biggest secrets that we've been trying to get answers to this whole season, including Macy learning that she was resurrected, and Harry finding out about his son. Starting off with Macy's storyline, we finally got so many questions answered, especially around what happened to Macy, why her mom let her go, and why she has this darkness inside of her. It turns out Macy died as a baby and her mom and dad broke a necromancer out of Tartarus to bring her back to life, but everything comes at a price. They could live happily as a family for 2 more years, and then Marisol could never see her daughter again, or else Macy would die. While searching for answers, Macy ends up making contact with this necromancer, and I have to say, it was not who I was expecting at all. I thought that this was going to be that witch from Tartarus, although I guess that doesn't really make sense now because she's a necromancer and the witch is a witch, but I was expecting it to be that witch from Tartarus that the Sarkana brought back, and I'm just like, when are we gonna get into that story? I'm very curious about what's gonna go on there. But this is a necromancer named Nancy, and it turns out you can't really trust them. She has this whole demonic pact that she would bring more demons into the world in exchange for eternal youth, and that means that she used demon blood when she brought Macy back to life, which completely explains why she has this darkness inside of her. I do feel like there was a little bit of confusion here with Macy's darkness, because I personally would have loved to see her struggling with this unknown darkness that she doesn't understand the whole season, and I feel like instead they've just told us that she has this darkness and we haven't really seen that come into fruition until this episode. I just think little hints of, whoa, why did Macy do that, or what's going on here throughout the season would have been really cool. You know, more showing us instead of just telling us. Now it comes down to, will Macy be able to handle all of this, or will the darkness take over? And I'm also wondering, you know, Macy's had this demon blood in her since she was a baby, so how come the darkness hasn't already consumed her? I wonder if Marisol binding their powers kind of held it off somehow. I just think that that needs to be explained a little bit. Now Macy has made a deal with Parker's mom that she'll help get the demon out of Parker if she helps get the demon out of Macy first. That honestly didn't really make sense to me, because if Parker's mom was able to do that, wouldn't she just save Parker and not need Macy's help at all? And speaking of Parker, it looks like he and Maggie are getting back on track. He helped talk Macy away from her darkness, and now Maggie doesn't hate him anymore. But this looks like it could actually be part of an even bigger scheme, as Alistair Kane is trying to use Lucy to get Maggie and Parker back together. He's using his power on her, so she doesn't really know what's going on, but I'm really curious about what his goal is. He specifically says that he wants them to be together to become one. I'm thinking all of this has to come down to how Alistair wants Parker to become the source. But what do you guys think? Do you have any theories? And do you want to see Maggie and Parker back together? I do think that Maggie did make a good point about how he is kind of like one of the only people that she can really truly be her full witch self with, because, you know, he's a demon, so he understands that world. Oh, and Harry's son. Okay, so Harry has been struggling a lot since he got out of Tartarus. His powers have been kind of out of whack, and I think he's just been feeling like he doesn't have the ability to protect the charmed ones like he should. He accidentally ends up orbiting to Manchester with Mel, and the two of them use this opportunity to kind of dig into his past and see if they can kind of, you know, make him feel at ease about his son. We do get to see like this really sweet moment of Harry kind of seeing his son as a grandfather and just knowing that he's okay, and I think that allows him to kind of be like, okay, my son is doing good, I can go on protecting the charmed ones and doing my job. Overall, I enjoyed this episode, and I'm so glad that we finally got a lot of the questions that Marisol's secrets have brought up answered. And I think something that we've all kind of felt about the show is that it felt very rushed, or the pacing was a little bit off, and I definitely think that's due to, you know, the show getting picked up for 8 episodes, then another 5, then another 9, and I feel like this episode felt like it was maybe one of the more recent ones to be filmed, because I think the pacing was a lot better. They were even able to add some current references, like we get a nice thank you next reference in there. So now that we're at this place, I'm excited to see, you know, how the rest of the show is paced and where it goes, and what we can expect in season 2. Unfortunately, we've got a little bit more time before we get the next episode of Charmed. They've just been having a lot of breaks lately, right? Like, I get it, you know, they don't want to compete with the Grammys Grammys or the Oscars or the Super Bowl. But yeah, there's been a lot of breaks this season. I wonder how that is going to fare for them in terms of ratings. But the next episode is Manic Pixie Nightmare, and that comes out March 3rd, and I think that's going to be a really fun one that kind of pokes fun at the Manic Pixie Dream Girl trope that we see in film. And it looks like we are going to see Galvin kind of sharing some more of his grandmother's stories in an effort to help Macy defeat her darkness. So I'm ready. I'm loving this path that we're on right now. I think that there's a lot of interesting, unique things going on that are pretty different from the original Charmed, and I think that that's great because, you know, this is its own thing. What did you guys think about this episode of Charmed, especially with the stuff going on with Macy? I think we definitely got some big revelations this episode. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and click that subscribe button because I come out with new videos every week. See ya!